Hello, Simon here and welcome back to the channel. Back on a trek, and today I'm going to share with you a trek in Belgium, in the south of Belgium. It's called the Big Crossing of Chimay's Land. So the total length of the trek is 120 kilometers. I'm carrying my tent with me today. So let's go back to Brussels so that I can show you how it went. Alright, just made it to Sivry, the start of the hike. That cross on the pole tells you that you're not in the right direction, so it's the opposite. This hike that I'm doing, it doesn't have a number, it's just called the Big Crossing, and it goes through several GR. So we started on some GR, I don't know which one, with the white and the red stripe as markers, and now we are on the GRP 125. And the marker is a yellow band and a red band, as you can see just here. And the difference between GRP and GR is that the GRP, it goes through several countries. I read somewhere that you can always find water sources in cemeteries. Here there's a sink, let's see if it works. Oh, perfect. Still like 5 kilometers till the camping area. Okay, that's the bivouacking zone. Here we are. I set up the tent. I'm not going to put the extra layer on top because it's going to be quite warm this night. The minimum will be 18 degrees Celsius. That's super tasty, but I think after the hike I did, anything would have been that tasty. Okay, time to sleep. I'm in my tent. See you tomorrow. Good morning, on the day 2 of the hike. Here was my breakfast with muesli and the coffee. Today we're going to the next bivouac, which is the bivouac of Mazé. Leaving the camping spot. First quest of the day is to find water, because I only had a liter and a half yesterday, so I'm left with only this and I'm very thirsty. I'm going to make myself an energy drink with those tabs. That's a tip from a guy I met on the GR20, the military who did it in 5 days. He told me, I'm drinking this while I'm walking to get energy. I'm not that extreme, but let's see if that helps. Time to go to bed. Yet another morning. I'm soon out of water once again. So to get water on this trek, there's a couple of ways. So the first one is to go in the cemeteries, as I showed you the other day. The second one is to ask random people. So when you arrive at a village, you ring at the house and then people are kind enough to give you water. I tried twice and they were fine with it. The third option is just to buy a water bottle when you're in a village at a supermarket. Alright friend, on this GR in Belgium, I'm carrying with me my tent and my sleeping bag and a mattress. Basically, compared to the GR20, I'm doing it somewhat autonomously. So I'm also carrying food with a stove. My bag is heavier. Now it's like 8 kilograms. On the GR it was 4 kilograms, I think, 4.5. But it's also quite a cool experience to carry everything with you and then you sleep in a tent. And so in Belgium, wild camping is also forbidden, but there are some bivouacking areas. In this trek, there are 9 of them, so you can choose a bit where you want to stop. I'm getting close to the end of this part of the hike in the forest and it was great. It was 12 kilometers and I really liked it. So it's from Soulmes to Lermeton-sur-Meuse. So if you're in the region and want to go for a hike, I'd recommend you that one. that's it. Here we are in Astier, the end of the trek, the end of the big crossing of Chimay land. But it's not the end of my journey, I still have to go back to Brussels. Okay, back in the train, and here's a quick debrief of the hike. So I loved it, it was a great one. For me, it was the first time I walked that much. On the first day, it was almost 60 kilometers. The hike, it goes through the different forests of the south of Belgium, and then in between you're crossing the small villages. And there are several start and end points, I will show you that. The pass does kind of an X. You can start either from Civry or Makenoise, and then you go to Virel, then from Virel to Aulois-sur-Viroin, and from there you can go to Philippeville or to Astier. What I did is that I left from Civry and I went to Astier. It was also quite easy to come from Brussels, just one train, one bus, and I was there.